Hi, I'm Kathy Coyle from the Becker County History, Science, and Children's Museum. We're at the Becker County Fairgrounds today in Detroit Lakes on a field trip to see a 130-year-old pioneer cabin being restored. Come on, let's go look. Austin, how did you get involved in this project?
We were able to choose our projects, sort of our top three when we were during orientation, and I saw Detroit Lakes was right next to the border of North Dakota, so I thought I want to work at Detroit Lakes, be near where I live, and try to get more back to the community that I live in. And then I went to the University of North Dakota to get a history degree and a social science degree, and now I'm trying to learn more hands-on work that deals with history.
So a 130-year-old cabin is definitely of interest to you.
Oh yes. This cabin has a long history from being a home, schoolhouse, and now I moved here to the Detroit Lakes Fairgrounds.
Mm-hmm. What kind of work are you learning to do on it?
At the beginning, we had a technical specialist all the way up near Voyagers, Alan. He was the roofing specialist. And actually we have part of the Northern Bedrock crew here, Pete. He is the logging specialist where we actually lifted the house off the ground to put some logs in to replace some logs that were getting rotted out. So we're learning quite a bit. And right now we are going to be doing some chinking and daubing, which is basically filling in the gaps in all the logs so that no air seeps through, no moisture can seep in, and all that kind of stuff.
Naomi, tell me about your background.
So I'm from outside of Boston. I went to Northeastern for college and got a degree in history, but I've been interested in preservation carpentry and historic preservation for a long time.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, how did you find this cabin? Jeepers, it goes way back to 1891 when it was sitting out there on what is now Tamarack National Wildlife Refuge. How'd you come from Boston out here?
So I was looking for preservation carpentry internship type things, things where I could learn more about trades, and I found Northern Bedrock online, just searching, something like preservation carpentry summer jobs, and it sounded really cool, just the breadth and depth that you can get over the course of the 5 months on different projects. Like we do projects like this with the roofing and the log work. There's masonry projects too, and all kinds of other structures and stuff that we're going to work on.
Now, the younger people behind us are from the Bedrock organization. We've got a couple of guys that the public here will recognize, Rick Michelson and Don Okeson, who was brushing off the cobwebs, it looks like, before they improved in between the logs. Tell us about what they're actually doing.
So right now we're getting rid of the old stuff that's failed. It's falling apart, it's cracked, it's coming loose. So they're pulling it out, cleaning it up just so that we can put the new cement in and it'll stick. We'll spray it down with water to make it stick better and then mix up some cement and put it in there. With some other, we'll fill the bigger holes with other stuff as well.
What's it going to look like when you're all done? I mean, the frame around the windows is obviously new, so will that look more preserved afterwards?
So that'll weather in a couple of years and blend in a little bit more. The other wood on there has some of those logs, some of the other parts have been replaced over the years, but wood just takes a while to weather. So it sits in the sun, it soaks up rain, it dries out. The new logs that we put in that you can see on the bottom there will shrink a little bit as they dry because they're still pretty green.
And any other parts of the project that you learned how to do?
Oh, absolutely. So on the other side of the cabin, we put in some Dutch lap siding. You can see the old stuff on this side at the top in the triangle part at the top.
Okay.
So the other side is new wood, but the same stuff that was milled, I think, nearby by an Amish guy.
And for somebody who is interested in being a Naomi or an Austin in the future, do you recommend it? And how do you make it all work? You've been camping out here, haven't you?
Yeah, we have been camping, so it's 9-day hitches, so we're camping all together, eating all together for 9 days. But then we have 5 days off, so you get a nice break. But it's been a lot of fun.
How good of a career is this? Is there a need for this in America? Are there many places that you think you can get a hitch? That's my new word today. I didn't know that before.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's definitely like not the most common trade, but there's a lot of need for people who know how to fix old buildings. In lots of, I mean, there's, you can be like a roofer specifically, like the man who taught us to do that roof. But there's log cabins all over the country that are rotting out, and I think a lot of communities have buildings that are really important to them, like this one.
Great. Well, thank you for your work here.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll all enjoy it for many years to come.
I'm really glad.
Okay, great. We're standing in front of the north wall here. It looks beautiful on top, but oh boy, pretty tough on the bottom. Tell us what's going to happen all there.
So unfortunately, I don't think those logs will get replaced this round. The needs of this cabin were great. We were actually probably just a few years away from having to demo it. So Northern Bedrock Preservation Corps came in, and they're addressing the most immediate needs. You can see down on the bottom there's some logs, that the sill logs as they're called, needed to be replaced. And then inside there's actually a loft. And that loft in its original day was a full loft, and at some point it was cut down to be a smaller size, and structurally it was getting to a point where I was worried it was going to fall on somebody. So the structural needs were great. So for this hitch, we're kind of doing the most immediate needs, and hopefully we can learn a little bit locally and do some of that work ourselves, or maybe have them back again.
The top part looks beautiful.
Yeah.
Was that in really, really bad shape?
It was. It was. Yeah. It was falling apart and cracking, and just again structurally not in great shape. So that was a must do, as was the roof. I mean, that beautiful cedar shake roof is just gorgeous.
Yeah, it is. Now, you stressed in the publicity beforehand that this $10,000 cost of this project did not come out of the capital campaign for the new museum.
Correct. We knew a few years ago, our board and myself started talking about the cabin and what the long-term goal of the cabin out here was. And we knew at that time, because I'd had some individuals look at it, that we needed to make a choice, and if we were going to preserve it or if we were going to end up demoing it. And so when the choice to preserve it came along, we started setting, we've got some money in savings and we've got some money in investments, and so we started kind of pulling a little bit from those amounts, our nest egg, so to speak, to put towards this project. And it's timely with the 150th, and a new facility. It's important to remember that it's not all of the new shiny building. We have to preserve what we have too.
Speaking of the new and shiny, how's the campaign doing? Today is June 21st, 2021. So Becky, here's the question. How's the capital campaign going? What's the gap right now before the goal is met?
We're at about 275,000, so just short of 300,000. Thank you to everybody who continues to drop your, donation off or go online and make a pledge. We're getting there little by little. And
last time I asked you, it was $500,000. So now it's 270 what?
About 275,000, give or take. So,
and the entire project is worth.
The entire project is 6.8. Now, some viewers might be saying, I thought it was 6.4. Well, remember, we are in a time where the prices just kind of skyrocketed on us, and so we're about a $6.8 million building.
Okay. Well, super. We're getting closer.
We are. We'll get there.
Okay.
Next summer we'll be doing TV3 shows from a new facility. So.
All right. That will be great to be able to invite people over.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.